and we found that. What was that then?
Her Morning Elegance. Please don't ask me who it's by. I don't know who it's by. It's by Imported.
Beautifully catalogued on the system once again.
Yeah, by me.
Is that one of yours?
Yeah, sorry.
Now we have a real life guest, Elle Palmer.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming in, Elle.
Thank you for inviting me.
I love the fact that we've described you as a lived experience storyteller from Better Emotions CIC. So first of all, what is Better Emotions? And then I want to understand, that's the best job title I've ever seen ever anywhere. So tell us a little bit about the organisation and you.
Okay, so I'm Elle Palmer and I founded Better Emotions CIC. It's a community interest company that is all about what it says, better emotions. It's about learning how to shift from the negative emotions, living in that state of survival mode and stress response, and shifting into better emotions.
And it's CIC. I'm just aware that we talked about a social enterprise earlier, and I'm kind of assuming that our listener will know what a social enterprise is, but CIC, they might not know what that is.
I'm not 100% certain, but
sorry.
I think they're quite similar. It's pretty much the same thing. When I found out about a social enterprise, I was told to go down the path of the CIC. So,
and it's a not-for-profit, isn't it?
That's right. That's the point,
and it's a socially sort of driven in the sense it's very purpose-driven.
Yeah.
And although it might be a company and it's limited and all those things, the reason you exist is to do good.
Absolutely. So it's to make a social impact and to better the community. That's why I've created it.
And when you say that about moving from the negative emotions into a more positive, that sounds so simple, but really, really hard. How on earth do you help people to achieve that?
So the techniques that I use are backed by science, but they're very simple. So simple you will not believe that they work, but they are proven to work. So they're proven to, we use our heart rate variability, and we use deep breathing to harmonise our heart, our brain and our nervous system. So it essentially tells your body that you are safe and you are stable, and it gets you to stop using the back of the brain, which is the fight or flight mode. It's where all your negative memories are stored, which creates overthinking. And then you start to use more of the front of the brain, which is your decision making. If you've ever been so stressed you can't think clearly or you've not made the best decisions, it's because you're in that survival mode.
So if I can sort of try and translate, and do tell me if I've got this wrong, but it almost sounds like a grounding experience, that you're bringing people into their bodies and helping to bring all of those systems into some sort of alignment. Then they're going to be present in the here and now, which empowers them to deal with all that negative stuff from the past.
Absolutely, yeah. And from this place, from this place, so you basically then start to control. You take back control of how you experience emotions and how you express them. So it improves.
This is big stuff.
It improves your communication skills. It improves your relationships,
your life,
your sleep. Like, it improves every aspect of your life. And I've been doing it now for nearly 4 years, and it transformed my life so much. Like, I wanted to teach it.
So tell us a little bit, if you're comfortable, tell us a little bit about your story then. What was your lived experience? Were you in this place of needing to kind of go down this path in order to wrest back that control?
Absolutely, yeah. I come from a very chaotic childhood, and there was never any stability, security or safety within the home. There was a lot of domestic abuse. There was a lot of poverty. And then as I grew up, teenage years, early adulthood was very much the same. And then I mimicked those same relationships. I had one toxic relationship after another. So I lived in survival mode, in chaos, internal chaos for decades.
And it gets to feel normal, doesn't it, after such a long time?
Yeah, there's a part of you that knows it's not normal, but you don't know any other way, and you're surrounded by other people who don't know any other way, so you don't know how to change it.
How did you bust out of it?
What was I imagine sometimes that there's a ladder. What was the first rung of the ladder that allowed you then to look up a bit?
Nice analogy.
And see out?
So it was hitting rock bottom, which is not that, you don't have to hit rock bottom to transform your life. But for me, it was, I'd lost my mum and 13-year-old sister in a car accident. And through taking care of my younger siblings, I didn't process it. So I had all this suppressed grief, and I was running on empty, and I was just on autopilot, just taking care of everybody else, not giving back to myself. And also being in an abusive relationship. There was just so much going on. That led me to hit rock bottom. And from that place, and I was 4 months pregnant at this time.
Wow.
And I just left my husband. It had been 10 weeks after our wedding day. And I hated everything about myself, my life. And I knew that something had to change and that no one was coming to save me. I had to figure it out. And it just all started with a decision I'm going to change my life. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. And having the internet is such a beautiful thing. It started with YouTube, looking at motivational videos and, that kind of thing. And then I found there's something called self-love. I didn't even know what self-love was. I didn't even know it existed. And as I went down that path, everything just grew from there.
And did you find people to support you along the way? Because that's one crazy journey you've just described there.
Everyone who supported me were other people online who were also on their own healing journeys. It wasn't that I had a supportive family or friends. Everyone has their own. Yeah, everyone has their own.
You described almost like you didn't have a network around you, almost like a vision of you sort of bobbing around on the sea on a little boat on your own. Trying to put down an anchor. And I was just like, who helped you?
And it was online. And that's why it's so important for me to share my story and be this lived experience storyteller so that women can see, I do have the qualifications, but I've lived what you're living. I've been there. I understand you. And I'm creating my own community now, a place where they feel safe and they feel like they're understood and not at all judged in any way.
And I feel like I know what a lived experience storyteller is now. Do you, Dom?
100%.
Yeah.
It's been such a funny week. Not funny, peculiar week, in that it's sort of come around in a full circle. Earlier in the week, I was on a supervision course and somebody shared this couplet, right? It's not very often somebody shares a couplet,
yes.
by Goethe, who I presume is like a really famous philosopher from back in the day. But anyway, it says this: whatever you can do or dream, you can begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And it was just as you were describing. The decision was, I'm going to make a change. I'm not sure how, but that decision then led you on the path. And that truth for other people going through trauma or abuse or just hit rock bottom for lots of other reasons, and sometimes it's just, I almost said the S word then, stuff happens. Knowing, being able to look you in the eye and knowing your lived experience, that must give huge power to other people as well, to think that I can then, I have the ability.
It does. And I see the change within people, and people are very different. Some they come in and they're willing to learn. Others are very closed off. But no matter how they are, whether they've got their guards up, whether they're in floods of tears, or it doesn't really matter. By the time they leave my sessions, they just feel very different. There's a shift there.
So I have to ask you some questions, and I'm acutely aware of the time.
Okay.
And we just could talk all day. So you were saying coming in, right? So how do people find out more? And when you say coming in, is this all online stuff that you deliver, or in real life as well?
So in-person workshops at the moment, I'm running at the Light Church, the Jubilee Centre. So I'm there every other Tuesday at the moment. So Facebook is where I hang out most of the time. So if anyone wanted to find me on Facebook, it's Better Emotions CIC or LM Palmer, and you can find out more about where you find me. I am going to be doing online sessions as well in between. So,
and for people who may be thinking, but feeling a bit scared, a bit anxious, a bit worried, what could they expect when they walk in through the door? What does it look like, feel like to come into one of your sessions? Because even just stepping through the door is a big step, right? And it can expose vulnerabilities that maybe they've got really, really well hidden. So what's it like?
It's a natural gift to make people feel welcome. So even if they come in feeling quite anxious, I know how to, this is what we do with the heart techniques. I know how to help people feel safe in their bodies in the moment very quickly within 30 seconds. So I've had a lot of different types of anxieties and panic attacks, and those women, they feel safe around me. So it's a welcoming vibe. It's not like a classroom. At the moment, it's just women. This project is just for women at the moment.
Women,
yeah, it is. And I've been asked quite a lot to work with men, so I'm working on that. But yeah, it's a very welcoming environment, and it's just women together sharing their stories, very different lives, but everyone supports everyone.
Well, do you know what? It's been an absolute joy to meet you. It really has. And Dom wants to anoint you.
I'm definitely anointing you a friend of the show, which basically means
thank
that means you can come back whenever you want, Elle. You are allowed back whenever you want. And I think we should have you back regularly.
We need to learn more. I feel like we've just...
just scratch the surface.
Over the top,
scratch the surface. And by the way, congratulations on getting £20,000 from the
thank
National
you.
Lottery Community Fund, because
That's no mean feat.
that is exactly what these big buckets of money ought to be going towards. They ought to be going towards things like the one you're doing. So, Better Emotions CIC, Elle Palmer, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for
Now,
having
don't go
me.
anywhere just yet. Now, a minute ago, I mucked up because we were playing one song for Shirley and I was trying to find another song for Jamie because it's his 50th.
And it was all very exciting.
Can I play it now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Jamie. It's his 50th. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. And it's Tommy 2 tune. Now, the name of the song is 8675 309 Jenny Jenny. Who knew?
Ridiculous.